Hi, my name's Nick Jarvis, and welcome to Light Minds. This series of videos are about the principles behind losing weight and getting to great shape. And the initial ones are all about the underlying principles. And then what I've started to do is review how we actually can take on board the principles, and then what the implications are in terms of change, in terms of helping us on our journey to losing weight and getting into great shape and improving our general well-being as well. And what I want to do in this video is talk about feelings. Now, feelings are something that are, like most things in the experience of our lives, are misunderstood. It's misunderstood what it's all about. So let me just share my screen, and I'll take it a bit further. Now, feelings are incredibly important to us. The feelings way back when, in the Stone Age time, were important for us for warning about dangers and things like that. So feelings have an important part to play. But in terms of getting into great shape, they really are fundamental in terms of the information that they provide for us. So they're a bit like a warning system. And just like you've got you look at the dashboard of your car, you've got all the gauges on your car and on the dashboard, and you look at them and you've got, one of them is the fuel, one of them is the temperature, one of them is your speed, those kind of things. Now, all of those gauges tell you one thing, and it's really important to understand what they tell you and what they don't tell you. So, for example, if you looked at your temperature gauge thinking it told you about your fuel, you're going to run out of fuel, because you've got to understand that actually it's the fuel gauge that does that. Now, why is this important? Well, feelings only tell you one thing, and it's important to understand that one thing. What they don't tell you is a whole multitude of other things, like, for example, that you're a bad person, that you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. They don't tell you that. Also, by the way, feelings don't tell you about other people's feelings. That's also important, because that would be a bit like you're sitting in your car looking at your dashboard and your gauges and then thinking, oh, they're telling me about that person whose car is over there. It doesn't tell you those things. Feelings just tell you one thing, but they are an important warning system. What are they warning? Well, I've shown this image several times. We think we're looking at the world through this camera, and the world is fixed. And we think, as part of that our feelings are telling us about the world and what's going on in the world. So, for example, someone could upset you. Well, supposedly. But the thing is, the feelings that you experience of upset, however you experience that, can't be determined by that person. Because think about it logically, physically, that person is not connected to you. They can't make that happen. Something else must be going on. That's really important to understand, because your feeling that's being generated is an internal feeling. So say, for example, someone smashed you in the face. Not very pleasant. That's physically happened. Okay, so that's happened. But how you experience it is internally generated. How do I know that to be true? Well, if the same person smacked each one of us the same way, we would actually have a different experience, a different set of feelings. That's incredible, isn't it? We don't all experience the same things from the same experiences. That's interesting. So feelings are not telling us about what's happening in the outside world. Our feelings are telling us what's happening internally. See, one day the kids might really be upsetting you. The thing is, and you could turn around to me and say, the kids are making me really cross today. The kids cannot make you cross today. That's internally generated. So, if you don't believe me, say you're a young mum, you go to the nursery and you look at all the children and you look at the mums, look at how they're all different. They're responding in different ways. The mums are responding in different ways. See, two children could do exactly the same behavior, but the mums wouldn't respond in the same way. They wouldn't feel the same way. Why is that? Why? Because it's internally generated. Now, what it's doing, this one thing that's doing, is it's telling you whether you're inside or out. What do I mean by that? Well, so for example, say your partner does something and you go, my partner shouldn't have done that. That's terrible behavior. And you get angry. Well, here's the thing. That you are thinking that the person outside of you is causing this. You've gone up into your head and you're looking at the world like that and you're turning it around. The thing is, it's those thoughts that you're playing around about that that's outside of you that's causing you to feel that way. Because that your partner could do the same thing to somebody else. They have a completely different response. See, when you're calm, you're relaxed, you're in flow, that's when your mind is just coming through you. The mind, as in the principle that we're talking about. You've got this outside force, this energy coming through you. And you're hearing that, you're sensing that, you're aware of it. When you're in your head, you're in your ego, you're in your personality. What happens then? You're resisting that flow of that energy through you. When you start saying, I should be doing this, or I should be this way, or that person should be doing this, or that person should be that way, you moved up into your head, not from the innate capacity that you have inside you, which is flowing through you all the time. By the way, it doesn't stop. It's always there. The blue sky is always there. The weather changes. That's the stuff up here. Now, your feelings are telling you whether you're up here or down in your heart. You see, we all have the innate capacity flowing through us, always. You wouldn't be alive today if you didn't have that energy source. If you weren't aware of life going on, you wouldn't be alive today. If you weren't having an experience of life, you wouldn't be alive today. That's thought, consciousness, and mind all coming through you. They're coming through you all the time. The question is, are you in your head, which is made up, illusionary? And then someone goes, yeah, but I've got a habit. That's in that. It's repeating itself. It does repeat itself. But when you notice, it repeats itself differently. But it is a habit. That's our survival mechanism. That's our lower brain. Very powerful system that you have to have in order to navigate the world. The thing is, you're not your habits. You learn them. That's your conditioning. That's your programming. And you learned those through your interaction with the world, with the environment that you were born into. If you were born into a different environment, you'd have different conditioning. You're not your conditioning. So the thing that you see of yourself, you're not that. And you can therefore always be different. What's the implications of this in your weight loss journey? You can be different. You don't have to be the way that you are. You can learn something else. You can become something else. And on your journey to doing that, you'll know whether you're actually coming from inside yourself, this innate capacity to grow and develop, to be different, to fuel in the way that's appropriate for you. When you're calm, when you're relaxed, when you're at ease. When you jump into your head, you'll know about it because this happens. But when you've got clarity, it's very different. Now think about this from moment to moment, choosing whether what you're going to eat, how you're going to eat, how you're going to be those things. Now, some people go, yeah, what happens when I make the wrong choice? That's when you zip back into your head. I should be. No, you shouldn't. You just were in that moment. That's it. Move on. But people then beat themselves up. You know, they go out to socialize and they have too much to drink and they get up the next day and then, whoa, life is terrible. I'm a bad person. No, it happened. Because of your conditioning, you can't control it. You can just begin to see through it. And once you begin to understand this, and you begin to understand the principles, you can change. Now, I'm going to go into, in some of the other videos, how that happens. But your feelings are incredibly important because they're telling you what's going on. So don't be afraid of your feelings. Your feelings are telling you this important thing. Are you in here? Or are you coming from here? Are you coming from this potential that you were born with that flows through you, flows out of you? It's an amazing thing, an amazing experience to have. And of course, this is what we go into in Light Minds. We talk about that. So, when we talk about it being light, it's light because when you get these anxious, revved up feelings, thoughts, anxiety going on, when that's happening, the struggle's all there. If you can lighten that, then you come to this place of clarity. And from the place of clarity, you make very different decisions. You make decisions that will enable you to move forward, make big changes. So, if you can, it'd be great to have you on board. If not, no worries. I understand, we've got a lot going on in our lives. But yeah, no, have a look, www.lightminds.life. Thanks very much.